The rich beauty of Guatemala hides her dark secrets. Here among her villages and countryside, hidden behind the colorful clothing and disarming smiles of her people, lurks a history of oppression and civil war that has left much of her population living with poverty, illiteracy, and disease. Among the hardest hit were the Mayans, an indigenous people who have lived on this land for centuries. During Guatemala's 36-year civil war, which just ended in 1996, entire villages of Mayan men, women, and children were systematically massacred. Over 200,000 people died or simply disappeared. Today, the survivors struggle to rebuild their communities. The men often travel to distant cities or even other countries in search of a decent wage, leaving the women and their families behind to take care of themselves. Some run small businesses selling their wares on the marketplace. But supplies cost money, and most lack the capital needed to make their businesses earn a profit. So the poverty continues, and many families do without life's basic needs. Friendship Bridge is an organization trying to break this cycle with a program called Microcredit, small renewable loans women can use to fund their businesses.
My name is Maria. I live in a house with my two nieces who became orphaned when they were only 3 months old. Their mother died, so I'm taking care of them. And also my parents died when my younger brother was only 12, so he lives with us too. So we are 4 in the house.
Maria runs a store out of the front of this house, which she developed with the help of small loans from Friendship Bridge.
I invested some of the money in supplies for the shop, and the rest I invested to buy my refrigerator that is standing over there. The shop gives me a little bit of profit every day. I'm very happy with the credit because I keep taking loans out, and now I'm diversifying into buying wood for firewood to sell. I like Friendship Bridge because it gives me lots of possibilities for my business to grow.
Friendship Bridge was founded in 1989 by Ted and Connie Ning as a medical aid project in Vietnam. It soon evolved into a development program that used microcredit to help impoverished women and their families. After several years and over 5,000 loans, the Vietnamese project became completely self-sustaining and locally administered. With that success, Friendship Bridge began a microcredit program in Guatemala. Today, with a growing staff of local Mayan women and an in-country director, Friendship Bridge serves thousands of borrowers in and around the highlands of Guatemala. Here, the women use their loans to support a variety of businesses, from retail, like Maria's store, to agriculture and animal husbandry.
The biggest part of our women here in the highlands invest their money in handicrafts. The handicrafts are mostly meant for a local market. Like, people will weave and sell to other women who don't weave. People will embroider weavings for other women who don't embroider.
Most of these women already know what they're going to do with their loans. So if they sell fruit or vegetables in the market, they've probably done that for quite a while. It's the infusion of the capital that makes the business get bigger.
My name is Magdalena. I've been making mats for 36 years. My father taught me because it was his business. Now I'm doing it. My husband goes in a canoe to a place on the lake where we can cut the reeds, and then we let them dry for a week. When he brings them back, we have to throw water on them so they are not as toasty and hard. Then I make these mats out of them, and we sell them on the market. They are for people to sit on and to sleep on. The benefit of having the Friendship Bridge loan is that we can prepay for the reeds because sometimes the landowner won't let you cut them if you don't pay for them, and he'll probably wait for a better deal. But if you pay right on the spot, he'll let you cut the reeds right away. And also it gives us the ability to buy other mats to resell in other villages. I really notice that I'm making more money now. And I can do more, like buy the uniforms for the kids in school or books or food.
Women who are interested in borrowing money for their businesses attend a series of 8 pre-credit meetings. Here they form into small groups of 4 or 5 co-guarantors. Members of these groups approve one another's business plans and become responsible for one another's loans. This social collateral is a proven success, with a 99% payback rate, higher than traditional banks. But Friendship Bridge is much more than a bank.
The group serves as a support group because all the women know they are battling the same kind of battle. They talk about it, they get trust, they form friendships in the group.
After the 8th meeting, the women join the others in their group to receive their loans.
I think when you do a credit, the woman comes to ask you for something, and when you approve it, you give her pride. And since she pays interest and it's a payback, she believes in herself. And I think that what makes it all work. It's like a way of getting somebody trying to make something out of their lives, but you're not handing it out, you're not giving it to her. Really, it is an equal relationship. And I think the magic of credit is exactly that. It's empowerment to me.
My name is Candelaria. When I first came to Friendship Bridge, I invested my loan in buying thread for my weaving.
She's weaving a very narrow belt that actually used to be used by priests, but they sell them on the tourist market. It's like a handicraft.
I did that for 2 years. But the last 2 cycles, I've invested my money in buying a bull for meat production. I bought my first bull for $180, and I was able to sell it for $320. It was a good profit. I invested some of it in food. And I bought some clothes for the kids. And since I thought it was a good business, I took my loan out again to buy another bull that you see here.
Every 2 weeks, the borrowers meet in their groups to make small payments on their loans.
And we noticed that since they come anyway, we wanted to give it some content.
So Friendship Bridge developed a series of classes to teach at these meetings, topics that affect the women's everyday lives. These discussions range from personal health to business development and leadership.
The meeting that stood out the most for me was on business feasibility. I learned that there is more to the cost of a product than the product itself. I try to use that in my own shop. So now when I sell a soda, I count what I spend in electricity to keep that soda cold. I appreciate the meetings with the health messages the most because you learn a lot of things that you normally wouldn't know about.
Friendship Bridge uses drawings, games, and role-playing to teach these themes. This participatory methodology not only makes the topics more interesting and relevant, but also gives a voice to women who often can't read or write.
Lots of things are not talked about in this environment, in our environment. And now we make it possible for these women to kind of get it out in the open. And I think the messages, especially the health messages, help with that kind of opening up of your own life and being able to talk about things that happen to you.
I've always had this feeling, sometimes I think about it and I think, what would be the most important thing that we're doing? Is the credit attracts the people. But then the whole repay schedule moves into a place where women suddenly feel that they're valued, that they can express themselves, that they can work together, that they can find friendships. And then I suddenly think Friendship Bridge is really a friendship bridge. That's why we're called that way. Sometimes you sit there and you go, this is what we're doing. We're building bridges of communication between women that perhaps live isolated in their houses before they got the credit.